Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to share my testimony about the Dream Center. When summer missions began, the Dream Center wasn't even on my radar, actually. With COVID and the busyness of work, I actually thought of just passing out on missions this year. But for some reason, as time went on, I started thinking more and more about the Dream Center for some reason. And I'm not sure why, but I started thinking about this incident that occurred about 7 years ago. It was 2013, and I was flying back from Kansas City, and I was sitting on the window seat, and all of a sudden, this real tall, burly man comes and sits right next to me. And I didn't get his name. I didn't talk to him, honestly, because he looked pretty intimidating. He had an aggressive face. He was, big old mustache, receding hairline, beady eyes. So what ended up happening was for 3 hours we don't talk. And as we were flying into downtown LA, I feel him leaning on towards me, and I was like, "What's going on?" So I find out he's trying to look out the window to get an aerial glimpse of Los Angeles. And so I find out this is the first time he's coming to LA, and so I ask him, what brings you to LA? And he says, the Dream Center. And he's telling me about, everything about what they do, and I feel a little bit bad because, I've lived in LA all my life, and I don't know anything about it. So he goes on to tell me about how he's going to serve the poor and the needy, and he came with his church all the way from a small rural town in Kansas. So now fast forward 7 years later, and I'm thinking about this incident, and I start, thinking about it or picturing his face as he was talking about the Dream Center. Just from that initial scowl on his face to all of a sudden being lit up with joy as he was talking about the Dream Center. So we just had, I thought in my head, this guy's coming from LA for the first time. He's not going to Disneyland, not going to Hollywood, but he's super excited about serving at the Dream Center. So I think that kind of stuck in my head over time. And so when the summer missions rolled out, I prayed about it, and I decided I'm going to join the Dream Center. And so everything was running smoothly until about early July. I don't know if you remember. That was when the second surge of COVID hit. And LA is starting to shut down, and I'm kind of getting scared about it. And I'm thinking about pulling out. So I'm struggling with that. And then, the church was saying, well, I have to make a decision by July 10th. That was the day I'm going to say yes or no. And so July 10th rolls around, and I'm still not. I still didn't make my decision yet. And then all of a sudden at 9:43, that's when everything changed that day. You see, at that moment, I got a message out of the blue from a sister at church, and with her permission, I wanted to read that email. It's from Alicia Diaz. So 9:43 p.m. Friday, July 10th, 2020. Hi, David. Somehow, God has brought you to my mind. Have you left to go to the Dream Center? Will you be staying there or driving back and forth? I'm praying that God will anoint and empower you and the team as you serve with open hearts. May the blood of Jesus cover and protect each one of you. Alicia. So after reading that, I think my jaw kind of dropped. And so the next thing I did, I emailed our mission leader, June, and I said, I'm all in. So here's our team. We have June, Felipe, Rebecca, JB, and me. And it was just the five of us, but, we called ourselves a dream team. And initially, I kind of felt a little out of place because I think the median age was like 24. And so everyone's, I'm this old man. I have, just a random conversation. I was talking about, where everyone was or what they're doing at the time of the 9/11 attacks. And, because everyone knew where they were, what they're doing, because, at that moment. And Rebecca said, I don't know, I was only 3 years old. So even with that generational gap, I don't think I would have it any other way. I really, our chemistry was awesome. We really bonded. I basically shared my entire life with them in that span of 5 days. We laughed, we cried, and we just talked hours on end. And so one of the things that we talked about over and over was the idea of sowing seeds. We would go out every day to the various housing projects in Los Angeles, and we would knock on the doors and pass out, food. And sometimes we got a little discouraged because we thought, our moments were brief with these residents, and we weren't able to share the gospel. We weren't able to always witness to them, and so we kind of got a little discouraged. But part of that was COVID, because we had to limit our contacts with them. We had the heat wave, which they weren't willing to really come outdoors, and we couldn't go inside. So we just wondered, are we making an impact on people? And we really prayed about it during the week, and I think God revealed that, we just plant the seeds, and in His perfect timing, things will come to pass. And we really trusted in that when we went out into the mission field. And so I just want to encourage all of you watching that no matter how big or small, we can make an impact if we're part of God's big plan. And, God's ways are so much bigger than our ways, and we just don't know when our actions will bear fruit in the future. So in closing, I just want to say that I'm going to trust in God's perfect timing. And, maybe 7 years down the line, it'll be Felipe's smile on his face that someone will remember. Or maybe Rebecca's sweet voice. Or the sweat on JB's brow. Or even, June's powerful prayers. Or, in my case, a 5-minute conversation with a man on a plane. Thank you for listening to me. May God bless you all.